Hello everyone, welcome back to the NLC. I'm Viper and still joined by Jamada and Nymera on desk. And Nymera, pretty one-sided game, pretty much what we expected.
It's almost like playing a strong side bot lane with an Aphelios and then getting dove early is really bad for you, and it means that you can't fight very well around the mid part of the game. This game was over meaningfully very early into the game.
It didn't have that many legs, and as you say, it was all about that bot side initially, and that's what really took the game through. And we're going to be talking to Monk, the bot laner from Galaxy Racer. We're going to be dragging him on in. Lovely face on broadcast. Mass congratulations on the win. You happy with that performance?
It was fine, yeah. It's fine.
Just Jamada's face. The Monk interview is always my favorite.
It is. I want to ask you about yesterday's games if you were watching, because I'm not sure if you were aware.
I was.
If you saw all of the clown fiestas, what are your reads on yesterday's games? Because obviously we had only one team basically that was the expected winner of the game actually win, and then after that it was just not great. What was your read on some of the stronger teams in particular dropping those games?
I think some of them were just a little bit of draft diff, you know. Like I think the XL one was like I don't know, the LeBlanc pick. I don't know. This champion like keeps popping up here and there, you know, at random times. It makes no sense. Kind of a bait pick to me. So I think that was like draft diff, and I mean I have no words for that godsend game against. I have no words for that one. Yeah, that one was something. Like I don't think draft matters at that late in the game. It's just who shouts loudest, I guess. Yeah.
So you talked a lot about that draft diff, obviously from yesterday and stuff, and we kind of thought you had a very hard winning draft in a lot of ways in this game too. How confident are you as part of this team going forward, and then maybe into playoffs as well, that you are going to keep having those advantages yourselves? How confident are you on the meta right now as a team?
I mean, we're getting there. I think we're still like used to like the last patch. Personally, I think we are like still used to the last patch. But I think, you know, we get used to it eventually. I mean, it's like small differences from patch to patch, but yeah, I feel like right now we're like playing a last patch, but yeah, not for long.
Yeah, true, because of course you were playing on that last patch for a much longer time.
Yeah.
This one's only a short stop before you move on to the next one. Moving towards a playoffs and stuff, as you say, and maybe even looking a little bit further afield than that. Are you confident that this Galaxy Racer team has the players required to see success against some of the bigger teams in this league?
Yeah, as I said, like I will win this league and I will win New Masters.
By the end of it.
Just casually saying that, I mean, just like, is this going to be a challenge, or?
You guys must be new around here.
I mean, it might be a challenge, but I will win it. I will win in the end.
Great to hear.
I'm excited to see you win European Masters personally, but massive congratulations, Monk, on a really, really strong performance individually and as a team, and good luck in your remaining matches.
Right, thanks. See you.
See, the problem here is that there are a lot of NLC players who are claiming that they're going to win European Masters, and they're not all on the same team. So
we have a paradox.
Someone's got to lose.
Someone's lying to us.
Yeah,
basically.
someone's got to lose.
But Jamada, we talked about that early play. I believe that's the one that you've set up for us on the drawing board. If you want to get your crayons out and take us through it.
It's always crayons with me, isn't it?
Like, well,
you said Gorborg. Gorborg yesterday. Yeah. He's a master artist. He's going to pull out the canvas.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden he just pooed
disappointed me
on the drawing board. But look, already you can see just by the CS alone down here, Aphelios is at 15, Ezreal's at 25. We're at 3 minutes and 30 into the game. This is like the 5th wave in the game, and already Aphelios is this far behind. And you can see just getting heavily harassed out by this Ezreal Karma lane, and we harped on it on the draft. It's just not a great lane to be in, and as soon as the Diana plus the Ludo was there, speaking with Orcs sort of in the break, listen to him, he said it's pretty apparent, and it seemed like also Galaxy Racer knew the Lulu was just going to end up in the bottom lane. And it's 2-3 of a lane. They've been getting shoved in. They want to try and reset, but Tiara is about to face check into Jackie, who has pathed all the way down here. Naturally, it's his strong side, and Tiara just doesn't get a read on it, doesn't even bother flashing, he just dies. And now at this point, Davidson is stuck underneath the tower, surrounded by 3 members of Galaxy Racer. The health bar on Simply is about to be depleted here. In a trade in the mid lane. Diana's top side this man is on an island by himself. There is nothing he can do about this. And I don't even know if they crash the wave in the end. They might just kill him outright. As you can see, Wendell just stops the recall. Yeah, they just crash the wave. And there's nothing you can do. He misses this wave. He was already 10 CS down. And this kind of just sets the tone for the bottom lane and the rest of the game in general, because there you go. Misses 6 more CS. It's going to be a cannon wave that crashes underneath the tower after this as well. And he's going to miss a fair amount of that. And you give Ezreal free lane in this meta, in general, he will start to take over the game when it comes to the 2-item spike. And there just wasn't really much of a response from Koba after this point. There's no fallback mechanics in this comp.
And I think from my side of it too is like it's the Ezreal winning on one side, and then it's also Aphelios losing lane on the other side. Like remember your solo queue games where you have a Caitlyn that's perma pushing and just randomly dies, and it's just horrible because they're meant to win lane. If they're not strong from lane, they're not really a champion. Aphelios literally similar kind of thing. They get smashed early. They don't really get to play the game.
And I mean that was just the story of the entire game. Was basically COVID never got going, Galaxy Racer never let up, and there was only ever going to be one winner in that matchup after that first dive. But we're going to jump to a short break. When we come back, it's going to be our second game of the day, maybe the most exciting at the top end, Singularity taking on BTXL. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a few minutes.
This is light. This is right. For your broken heart, like in the dark, in the dark. This is light. This is right. For your broken heart, like in the dark, in the dark. How lucky you are the day you've come to work on your charm. How lucky you are the day you've come to work on your charm. This is light. This is right. For your broken heart, like in the dark, in the dark. Oh, your broken heart, like in the dark, on your charm. How lucky you are to work on your charm. This is light. This is right. For your broken heart, like in the dark, in the dark. This is light. This is right. For your broken heart, like in the dark, in the dark.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the NLC. We're going into our second match of the day. BTXL taking on Singularity and Jamada. The Academy teams need to start fighting back, and this is the perfect game for BTXL to attempt to do that.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I saw BTXL or Fnatic Rising for that matter on a 2-loss streak. Actually, looking at the recent run of form there. Obviously, recent run of form, not everything, but I think in the context of BTXL, with the new players coming in, obviously with Dan and Denik, there's definitely some questions to be asked because, BTXL in general, they looked a bit shaky in the middle, they started to recover, and then the news broke that obviously Markun and Avian have moved up to the LEC, and now it's like, okay, are we back to this kind of gelling state again where, you've got to get used to a jungler and the new support at the same time? Because typically in team structures, these are usually some of the most vocal players on a roster, just sort of on average. The junglers need to shock all the early game. The supports typically pick up the mantles when it comes to the mid game and the later on stages too. So for BTXL, what exactly does it mean characteristically for them? Yesterday, against a struggling Resolve, not just a Resolve that's maybe middle of the pack, a struggling Resolve dropped a game which realistically, on paper, they should have just stopped like they almost did in the first round. Actually, no, BTXL almost lost the first round over to Resolve as well. So BTXL in general, I want to see where they're going to land now that they've got Dan and Denik, because SNG, they are no slouches at the moment. They have been pulling off win after win after win, and they've looked really damn strong.
But they haven't beaten one of the Academy teams yet.
Exactly.
That's the thing which I was kind of saying, I'm just like, there is a mental block there potentially. I mean, of course, the psychology of esports League of Legends is a very complex thing. It's just an extra factor in there. Really interested by these bans coming out of Singularity. They banned away some of the safer or like the primary prio lanes in terms of like some of the strongest 2v2s in the game right now are LeBlanc plus X, Jin Zhao plus X, both of them off the table. I'm just saying, Dan, Hatrix, you're not having any of that. We want things to be a bit calmer for our mid jungle. And they picked the Karma. You see, that's what subliminal messaging does to me. And they've banned away the Ziggs as well, meaning that BTXL don't have that safe flex between mid and bot lane.
Yeah, and I actually do like the Xin Zhao ban on the blue side. Typically, it's a red side ban, but I think into Dan, when he was in the LEC, one of the few times that XL did pick up a win, it was on Xin Zhao, and he looked really damn scary on it. So I think just getting a nice read on that.
Nulty doesn't play it themselves. That's the one thing. I'm just like, it's kind of telling that you don't play it yourselves. You have to ban on blue side. That's the one takeaway.
I think Nulty does play it. So I think it's genuinely.
Not had any games of it so far. That's what I'm just saying. It's not been on stage.
Okay, my brain tells me that he does play this champion. Maybe it's just now that it's meta, they've not been practicing it. So yeah, sort of falls under the same category either way.
Problem. It's banned too much. No one knows how to play it anymore.
Exactly. So Thresh being locked in now for Prosphere. Funnily enough, he said, I will not miss plays on Leona, so I'd find it really funny if Denik did lock Leona here, realistically, it could be a pretty reasonable answer. Looking at the Aphelios, I think that would be a pretty strong round out for this draft, and you're setting yourselves up for jungle plus mid, come B4 and B5. You've got the Karma, potentially to go into the mid lane anyway, but you've got the utility to buff up the Aphelios, and you've got the safety net Thresh there for him. And he's going to be laning into the Ezreal, so you're probably going to have a ready.
And you don't have to worry about Nocturne and Kali dives either, so that's nice.
Yeah.
It's positive moves. We're moving into the second round of bans here, and there's a couple of roles that can be focused in. Of course, picking that Thresh means that the Karma is going to be going into one of those solo lanes, but it doesn't look like any kind of jungler for Singularity just yet. Diana being taken off the table obviously shows that BTXL are aware of this situation. On the other side of the map, no support being picked up yet, so could be seeing stuff being taken off the table, some of the harder engaged bits. But of course, Prosphere talking quite a big game on social media today. We've come some of the quotes coming through saying that he might attempt to do something level 1, which could be pretty spicy.
Okay, I missed that tweet, so I'm curious to see exactly what he's going to be up to. SNG themselves are moving away the Jace, so they don't want to have to deal with that. Obviously, it's a pick that Fury has honestly thrived on any time he's had it. Yesterday as well, of course, we saw a pretty damn fantastic performance out of him as well. But moving away from Hatrix, I think definitely the right call as well. 2 very fantastic Jace players in this game.
Probably.
And if we're going down the AD mid sort of like route for SNG, wouldn't be surprised to see the Lucian moved away.
It's probably trying to solidify the Karma top as well. Just give it that extra option to say, yeah, Jace does pretty well. You can fight back against the Karma, and unlike your more low range brawlery types. At this point, I'm wondering, like, okay, so you've got yourself very strong diving, either regen or temporary frontline from BTXL. I think the Aphelios Thresh does very well into that with the Karma as well. Where are they going to get their go button from, though? Because yes, there's a low range comp on the other side. what are you looking for Go buttons? Because you don't have yourself an engage support right now. Thresh doesn't really count as that. Karma can help you run forward, but that's a walk at you engage. That's a run at you engage. It's not really the same thing. Are you going to have to go towards something like a Hecarim, which is okay on the current patch, but not really something you want to play around in the early game? You're against ample amounts of engage on the other side, and maybe you can just hope that they will take the fight to you, but that's not really what I like to see in drafting on the current patch.
Yeah, I definitely do agree. You could see Noi fall back on something like Gragas too, which, you know,
Yeah,
it's not the best engage
But
in
it's
the world,
something.
but it's something, and not only that, it works as a very versatile disengage tool as well. When you're talking about dealing with Volibear in the jungle, who I think yesterday it was ran into Diana, is what Noi took it
Yeah.
into. A much faster jungle clearer, but instead we're going to see the Kindred. So, all right, really, really strong composition when it comes to sort of standing ground.
Standing and fighting, yeah.
SMG. Yeah, it's really, really going to be obnoxious for BTXL to dive forward into this composition on a very regular basis. Looking at picks, I feel like is going to be the best shout. And instead, I called the Gragas button, not for Wazel. So it's going to be Karma in the mid lane, coming out from Fury. A slightly different look to what we normally see him on. Usually carries for Fury. But here, definitely proving or showing that he's willing to pick up some of these utility champions. So again, it's still the same, very much the same sort of profile. SNG trying to, if they're on objectives first, if they're, you know, controlling choke points, it's going to be really, really difficult to try and lock someone down and actually pick up kills. And Lee Sin is going to be the final lock in here, sort of just as maybe a skirmishing 2v2 partner for this Volibear.
I think that's really important because you look at how Singularity want to play this. They want to be playing around lane pressure and making sure that they have the pressure on the turrets without actually having to have those really explosive diving engaged team fights, because you only have the Gragas, and when you only have one form of engage, you just watch that champion, and then that makes things very, very easy to disengage on the other side. You just watch the cooldown to say, oh, they don't have body slam, we're fine. But the way they can start wrangling this map then at this point is saying, Karma's going to shove in, Kindred's going to start getting marks and just start messing with the Volibear. Having a Lee Sin that can skirmish early, cross walls early, and has the free wave clear of the Iron Spike White Whip as well, gives BTXL a way to command the mid lane against the Karma.
And I think we've got two very interesting compositions. BTXL, as we've been saying, they need to try and build back from a couple of losses in recent games. Singularity want to be the ones to spoil their party, and it's going to be Hiprain and Orcs take us through this game. Take it away, lads.
Thank you very much, Viper, and we're getting ready to go into game number 2 of the day, BTXL versus Singularity. This game has much higher stakes than the last game. That last game was, you know, a team very high up in their standings versus a group team but very low in their standings. Singularity right now are sitting above BTXL in wins. Singularity are 9-3 on the score, and XL are 8-4. So XL needing to find this win to try and catch back up, because if anything, this split has been the split of the academy teams finally bleeding, finally showing some weaknesses, and we have quite a lot of teams who are contesting in them. It's not like it's just there's one academy slayer. There are a bunch of teams that are able to hold their own versus them, and Singularity are one of those teams. They have to prove it here, though. If they can find the win over BTXL now, they really put themselves in a solid position towards that playoff spot.
Yeah, I mean, it's a much needed win. You have to sort of question, BTXL looked a little bit rough yesterday. Dan and Danik hadn't seemed to completely gel with the team yet. Not necessarily specifically, you know, criticizing them, but it felt like they definitely suffered a bit from not having the same roster they'd stuck with for a significant amount of time from EU Masters. And then on top of that, they also have Mikma summoned into the 80 carry roles. So it feels like this, you know, even by the standards that we've obviously had a season where BTXL haven't been on the same level we typically expected, this is like even more so. This is definitely not BTXL at the full strength, and especially big factor is Mikma isn't an 80 carry main. He is a mid-lit main, so it just kind of compounds that issue. This should, honestly, I know on paper you think this is a BTXL favorite matchup. I would legitimately say Singularity should be looking to win this, and if they don't, it raises big questions, because, you know, if BTXL in playoffs will have Deadly back, BTXL in playoffs will have, you know, practiced more with Dan and Denik, and if you can't beat them here, I don't think you beat them in playoffs.
Playoffs are a different beast, though. They are a best-of series, and, you know, the teams like XL, the teams like your Fnatic Risings, they're organizations and teams who are very good at preparing and getting ready to go into those best-of series. So my interest is also, you know, not just the regular season, it's actually how these teams like Singularity, these teams like Tricked are going to handle these best-of series versus teams like XL and Fnatic, who will be adapting and changing during the series of those games. But, you know, we're a bit of a ways away from that. We are still in the regular stage.
Can we move back towards the Lee Sin? Sorry, I was vibing to the music.
It is amazing.
There we go.
I've never seen that. It's so good. I own that skin and I've never
Honestly,
seen that.
Jay, I didn't hear anything you said in the past like 20 seconds. I was just listening to the music.
You know, I actually made an intelligent point for once as well.
I'm sure you did, Jake. The one time I'm not listening, you make an intelligent
You're never listening.
point.
Shut up. What are you talking about? You're never listening.
You know what? Kind of true. Wazor, a little bit tricky dealing with the Gwen level 1. That's one of the reasons she's so powerful, is you can kind of just E and beat you up. But Gragas pretty good at keeping the Gwen away. One of the kind of strengths of him in the top lane, something that Wazor is comfortable on, is that a lot of matchups you can kind of just belly bop, you know, use your combo, and then with phase rush run away. It's kind of simple to play around it like that.
It's just going to be pretty chill here. Level 2 might come through as Arome gets it first, so not feeling the actual like going too excited a bit there as he goes in for a quick snip. Wazor just gives him a bop with the cask.
And here's the big question, Jake.
Go for it.
Are we going to see Nulty win the coin flip? It's 50-50 chance.
That is a good one. They're spawning up soon as well, so we'll get that answer very quick.
You know, I was actually, Nulty's been playing a bit of Kindred recently, and I was actually speaking to her about this, and you know what he said to me?
What did he say?
That Kindred's so broken when you know how the mark spawns work. Because he didn't like up until like a few weeks ago, he didn't understand how like there's rules about them spawning, right? And after learning that, he's like, oh, this champion's actually not terrible.
Wait, what are these rules?
So essentially, like the way it works with Kindred is only certain camps can spawn depending on how many marks you have, right? So at the start of the game, you know, it can only be Rift Scuttler, right? And then when you have 1 to 3 marks, it can be Rift Scuttler, it can be Raptors or Gromp. When you have 4 to 7, it can be Krugs, Wolves, or either buff. And then 8 or above, it can only be the neutral objectives. So there's very specific camps it can spawn at. And so when you have a better idea, you know what you need to play towards. And I think Nulty just, you know, he hadn't played much Kindred previously. Obviously has been practicing it now, so hopefully looking to capitalize. And you know what, Jake? He lost the coin flip.
He did lose the coin flip.
So unfortunately, he won't be getting his first mark easily. A bit of an unlucky one.
We had a Kindred yesterday. Really good RNG with the marks. And, you know, we hit on it every time. But just to kind of reiterate, that 4 mark is kind of where the real spike is. The first big burst of spike on the Kindred. So that's what we want to keep our eyes on. For now, though, Nulty may just have to look to try and find his marks elsewhere.
Yeah,
and moved up just to cover him on the crab.
So it's actually kind of painful because you have to wait for the next respawn off the Rift Skull to get a mark, because a zero marks, it can only be Rift Skull, right? You have to wait for one of those to spawn, or you have to try and, you know, find a mark of someone else. So actually losing that 50-50 has a pretty big effect if you're not able to get a successful gank off. So it's frustrating. It makes that much of a difference when it's just like a pure gamble aspect. I guess in theory, if you have strong prio lanes and you match the enemy jungler, you can actually contest the scuttle. But obviously here we put Dan and Nulty pathing in opposite directions. There wasn't really a chance.
Yeah, and with Arome also having quite a lot of pressure in the top lane at that moment in time, it was pretty hard to deal with that. But Denik actually maybe making his face known here in the mid lane. So the second game on the team since moving over from the LEC. They're looking to try and get a bit of a gank off in the mid lane, but Fury will be able to survive for now as Hatrix takes the Q. The hook is going to land from Denik. Dan's making his way over the wall as well as Nulty's trying to find the finish up onto the kill as Nulty flashes away. The belly bomb comes in onto 3 members from Wazor. And XL are sent packing as Nulty can dance of arrows over the wall and continue the chase. Arome may look to try and skip and slash over the wall and jump into these members. Puts down the W for the moment as the teleports, the plays are coming in. This fight is not ending yet. Singularity with low health bars. Arome comes in with a snip. Hatrix flashes forward and misses the Q onto Fury, but he will still find the kill no matter what as Denik lands an X-hook. And Singularity now starting to fall apart as a double kill's been picked up by Hatrix.
What an absolute mess.
Wait,
and what's happening?
He's getting himself a slower for the moment. Prosper, shields, jumps out, hooks, teleports. Dan trying to jump forward, locks down Prosper, trying to find the ball. He gets himself the kill as Fury takes him out.
Yeah, actually pretty huge getting the mark in that situation as well. I said I was a little bit concerned the fact he wouldn't be able to, he'd have to wait for the scuttle and be able to contest that. And now I believe he's actually going to the Raptors to try and steal that away.
Oh, man.
What a messy scenario.
Oh, messy indeed as Migma getting 1v1 by Dragdart, but he plays down the exhaust, comes in for the
Or is he?
The Q, trying to find that last little bit of damage, and Dragdart just about gets away.
That exhaust coming in clutch there. You can see Dragdar feeling confident going up against the sub for XL, but he does end up getting matched. Now, I believe Nulty was warded away from stealing the Raptors. Wazel potentially in trouble.
Great cast onto Dan.
I mean, Wazel's been so good in this Gragas. In that team fight, when he flew in and got like the triple body slam. Wow, it's beautiful.
And Dan hooked up, going low, as Nulty will find himself the kill, and that could be the... No, Wazel steals it. He'll get himself the crab, though. There we go. Was that his first mark? Oh, no, the mark's on the Grump. He actually has a mark.
Yeah, no, he got the first mark on the volley bet. You don't need a kill, it just needs to be a takedown.
You're right. You're right.
So he would have, if he hadn't got that first one, he would have got it anyway, but he got it towards the end. And I think he did actually steal away the Raptors because he has a second.
Yes, he has got 2 marks at the moment. You can see the fight, though, going on the replays right now is just very extended. It started good for Singularity, and then XL turn it back around, and then a little bit of an overstay to get 1 additional kill, cost them another kill. It's been very back and forth so far.
And I like the proactivity. I think particularly when there's a Kindred, teams need to be moving around the map and then looking to help assist, defending or contesting camps. Crossfire's actually done a really good job this game. Being there with Nulty when he's looking to contest things like the Scuttle with that invade, which is a good look. And you know, it's a critical thing. If Prosper's roaming, then he can't die in lane, which he's had an unfortunate tendency to do thus far.
Was he first blood, though?
No, I believe.
Improvements for Prosper.
Yeah, that's an improvement. I believe it was Hatrix who went down first, and then he TP'd back in.
Yes, Singularity got first blood.
Yeah, and then he TP'd back in, but very messy. But honestly, these scenarios, I feel like favor Singularity because their comp is going to scale really well into the later stages. There is some strong elements of BTXL. The Gwen is particularly annoying in the late game, but I feel like Singularity's composition grouped together as like a Death Ball comp, it's just so hard to deal with. And the fact that particularly the Kindred's getting a good early game really sets things up well.
Rome actually looking to get a bit more needlework in here to Wazel. He's getting very, very low. Not going to find him with that final snipe. But Wazel getting a little bit too overeager as Dan will make his way over towards the top side. Remember, he's got the Rift Herald in his pocket. So may just look to go give a bunch of plates over to his Gwen, while the Dragon will get secured on the other side of the map.
Yeah, so a nice pickup from Singularity to Ants on the other side. And as much as like a little bit of a disadvantage there, Wazel doesn't die critically, so he will be down in farm, but not giving over any unnecessary gold to this Gwen. And I'm looking at the jungle matchup, honestly, and Dan's been set pretty far behind it. This 1v1. He did manage to pick up the Herald there, but he's 20 CS down compared to a Kindred. And it's not like Kindred is one of these power farming champions who play ridiculously fast. It's just Singularity winning out on the top side has been able to allow him to take these extra camps.
I believe he just got himself another camp. No, I'm not sure, actually. I can't tell. Yeah, he did. 3 camps. So, Nulty, he's well on track, actually. It's pretty fast-paced considering that he didn't get that first coin flip. Did a pretty good job of actually picking up these marks as Dan just desperately trying to catch up in the old farm department because he is struggling. You can see the items, the Noon Quiver, the pickaxe, the attack speed boots picked up for the side of Nulty. Dan, tier 1 boots, Sheen, and a Ruby Crystal. Now, there is a Gore Drinker finished up in the mid lane for Hatrix off the fact he has 2 kills, so he's in an okay position for himself.
It's hard to punish this Karma. I mean, there's so much survivability on the pick. And you can see BTXL, they've got prior mid, they're moving to top side, but Nulty is shadowing. And with his ult, to dive is almost impossible.
Oh, Nulty looking to jump over the wall into Dan, but the flash is coming over, and they're just going to slam in. Hatrix is on a killing spree. As Wazel also making his way. Hatrix flashes over the wall. Wazel comes in with the cast, with the belly bop, the shielding. Not going to be enough here. Hatrix, can he buy the time for the rest of his team to come through? Gets a bit of healing off as They're making their way in, but they are just going to step away for now.
Yeah, Naughty a little bit over eager there. Didn't have the backup from Fury, and I feel like the shield from the Karma would have been enough to keep him alive so they can get the Lamb's respite off. But obviously in that situation, wasn't able to get the assistance in time. We do see the Marcus spawned onto this Gromp on the bot side. And the reason being is, you know, after the previous mark, 45 seconds for the next one, Raptors had just been taken at that time by Dan, so it wasn't going to be them. Scuttle was also down, so the next camp that's available and can be marked was the Grump. But this is going to be denied by Dan here, who can just pick it up. So that's the thing, is like, if you understand the mechanics of the passive of Kindred, you can kind of predict where the marks are going to show up based on like camps being down. And then it's not just like, oh, there's a mark there, I guess I have to path towards. That's like, okay, I know where a mark is going to be. I'm going to move towards that and plan for it.
Not going to be able to pick that mark up, though. As 12 minutes in, gold lead pretty close between these teams. It's not quite as one-sided as we had in our previous game. And the items are slowly coming in. Arome will be relatively close now to finishing up his Riftmaker, if not have it done. No, just gets the blasting one for now. So, bit of a ways away still. As we have seen a lane swap come through from Dragdar and Prospect towards the top side. Riftail's been placed in the mid lane here by Dan, just to give Hatrix a bit of freedom in the lane. And give him a couple of plates worth of gold.
Yeah, and again, we have seen this quite a bit. This sort of throw a Herald down mid, get it low, second Herald should take it, but less so with the new patch because the extra gold from the side lane tier 2s. But still makes sense. And this is honestly the power of the Gragas on the weak side. Just one hitting that wave. BTXL trying to set up for a dive, but with no wave, don't really feel confident to go for it. Wazer does back away here, but on the other side of the map, Arome can't go near the wave. He's just completely denied. Singularity are able to stack this wave up, and they are so far ahead in terms of taking this first tower.
Yeah, and remember, this is Ghost and TP on the Gwen as well, so Arome no flash, so no opportunity really to try and even find that outplay. Ghost is on cooldown, to be completely fair, but that's going to be first tower blood over to Dragdar with plate. 610 gold injected into Aphelios.
It's a lot of money.
This is what you want to see them get accelerated. Look at the gold lead between him and Mikma right now.
And across the board, it's a gold lead for Singularity. The only lane where it's BTXL favored is mid. And again, this is a Karma. You don't mind the Karma being behind. She's got 2 kills in pocket, so she's still got a fair amount of gold. But everyone else is edging ahead. And things are looking positive for the Singularity roster. I rate this team when it comes to team fights. I think BTXL, the fact they have 4 melee champions into the Aphelios, and the Aphelios has essentially, you know, a Karma, a Kindred, and a Thresh is so much protection.
Wow, Trix. Taking the kick, but, you know, not going to get punished other than a quick airy auto attack. Dragon is up. Neither team seems overly fussed by it. It is only a Cloud Dragon. Not entirely sure what soul we're getting. It's either going to be that Mountain or Infernal Soul, so could have a lot of impact. We do find one of those Infernal Souls. Something like an Ezreal absolutely adores that soul.
Yeah, I think BTXL would love to get an Infernal Soul, but for Singularity, Mountain Soul actually would be so good. That extra level of survivability gives you more time to sort of get the ult off from the Kindred, to disengage the peel. But I feel like both of those dragons are pretty high priority either way. And we've seen the resets came in. We saw Singularity moving down towards the bot side. Nulty is now at 4+ mark, so you now see the mark spawning on Wolves, as you can see on the mini-map.
We are looking for Mikma here, able to dodge away on the flashes. On the hook, sorry, as he did have to use a flash, but does take a fair amount of damage from Nulty. He's pretty strong. XL on the other side, gonna look to just pick up this Rift Herald. But Mikma, he's really bleeding out down here. And remember, these second turrets are worth just that much more gold. You kind of hit on that earlier. And it looks like the Herald's going to be used in the mid lane. They really want to open up this side of the map for themselves.
Yeah, and this is kind of that value, the repeated Herald mid. So you are going to get that mid tower, which obviously offers a lot of map pressure. But considering that Singularity got that tier 2 in the side lane, they got all the gold stacked on the Dragdar from their first tower as well. Gold lead's still in Singularity's favor by quite a bit, even though BTXL have found this window to punish that mid tower. I believe Nulty should be on 5 stacks now. because he just picked up that wolf camp. 6 now. Okay, I kind of lost track of where he got that extra one, but you know,
Oh yeah,
after
last time I
4
checked, he was on 5.
Yeah, so one more and you'll hit another spike, but past that 4 point, you get a massive range increase. You can see his auto attack range there, 575. So the Kindred's firmly online, in a really comfortable position, and had the early game you'd hope for. You know, we've seen scenarios where the Kindred can get set behind, really feels underwhelming, and especially with a team composition like Singularity's, where you know you have a lot of support, but you only have 2 sustained damage threats. Having the Kindred in a comfortable spot and with marks, with gold, is very important. And you can see Nalty 2 levels up and down so far.
Yeah, Dan not really having all that much impact. 1, 3, and 1. No, him and Denick came over from the LEC. And, you know, having a couple of teething issues to this new version of XL.
Yeah, and I think it's just a scenario where, not specifically on them, I mean, it's hard to really pinpoint, but I feel like just the team isn't necessarily meshing all together. I think it's also difficult, Deadly not being here, as he's normally a solid option to play through. I don't think Mikma's necessarily done anything wrong this game. I just think it's more, you can tell the team isn't as reliant on him as sometimes they very much lean towards Deadly to try and set him ahead.
Well, Mikma's a mid player, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, you have got your midfield into AD carry here, so can't really get too, you know, upset on that one. And, you know, he's not doing awful. He's not had too much interaction with the team, but, you know, has been able to keep up somewhat in the farm department. They've done a bit of damage to this tower mid-side, bot side. As Hatrix should be looking to finish this one up, although Singularity are bringing multiple members over to try and contest it. The Inner Flame's going to land onto Mikma, just do a little bit of poking and prodding. As it is that Infernal Soul, so definitely the one that XL would like to get, but they are ways away. Singularity's been able to pick up the first 2 towers. Now Dragdar getting jumped onto by Arome. They need to do a lot of work, but Arome is cooked. Singularity finding a kill in the mid lane and the tower. Dragdar, he's just got the I'll kill you guns.
Yeah, I mean, the 2 gun combos that are so good there. I mean, it's basically Crescendum, the white gun, and either Severum or Calibrum. Both combos really good melee range. That's arguably the better one for taking down a Gwen. Oh, well, it was an attempt. But I mean, Dragdar is so fed right now. I think Arome went into that one in a stat check, and you just don't win. One of the few champions on the few elite carries who can just melt you in melee range, and Dragdar clearly feeling confident, able to find that. And now they really have complete control over this area. Yeah, I just mean, he gets the chakram stacked up very quickly. Absolutely shreds. You can see the ult also gives a ton of stacks. So just the thing is, like, in the extended fights, a lot of healing can come in from the Gwen, but you don't really have any arm to speak of. It's a Merc Treads on the Gwen. You don't have your Zonyas or anything. So it's like paper, essentially.
Dragdar able to rip through him. That was his first kill of the game, and you saw it in Felios earlier today, and one of the things you did hit on was that free item power spike. The Hurricane is a nice spike as well, but, you know, once that Infinity Edge comes in, which he's got the BF for, Dragdar's going to be even scarier than he currently is.
And there's some big spikes in general from Singularity. I mean, we've got the 2 item for the Karma with the Ardent. Really optimal here. They are looking for Dragdar.
Yeah, they are looking for him. They find the kick, but a great Lamb's Rest Bite comes in time. Crossfair puts the Lantern out, and that is going to be Dragdar thrown away and shut down by Hatrix as Wazel trying to find an opportunity to get a little bit more. The True Shot Barrage hits onto Crossfair, but the needlework is cutting through Fury. He will be able to survive for now, but Mikma going in. He gets flayed. He gets pulled back, and Mikma will lose his life. Nulty secures the kill.
Yeah, Singularity able to answer there. They still have Nulty as the primary carry, but Dragdar should not have been the one face checking. I don't think I need to emphasize that too much.
Hatrix, I think you may have bitten off more than you can chew. Able to jump away to the ward hop, dodges away for the moment, but that will be the kill. Picked up by Fury.
And it's just individual members from BTXL overstepping. The overall play was good. The overall setup was good. They find the punish. They do get the dragon. But then you see Mikma and Hatrix trying to go for these hero plays when they really shouldn't be. I mean, you're up against a Gragas. I don't think I need to emphasize how well Gragas should stand at least in, but it seems like Hatrix may have needed a reminder there.
That's a 20-minute Baron Nashor. It's going to be very quick when you've got these double AD carries as well. easily going to be cut down. And Baron Nashor now picked up for the side of Singularity, and XL, they're struggling in this game. We'll have a look at the replay because it was a nice fight for XL.
Yeah, I mean, so first thing, Prosper's nowhere near. You want your Thresh there to offer Lantern to anyone face checking. And secondly, Dragdor was like alone and pushing ahead. It just kind of felt like Singularity expected XL not to be there, but it was a smart play from XL. And then it's this moment. Mikma trying to jump in to kill off Wazor. The shielding for the Karma comes in, and then one flay from Prosper, essentially enough to guarantee his fate. As I'm saying this, the
Wazor puts out a cast, but he's going to catch the Everfrost onto one member, but the depth charge with the needlework will seal the deal as he goes in for a quick stopwatch burst. Hook to get him down. Rome will secure that kill. XL firing back and stripping Baron off one of the side laners. But they need to watch out for the rest of the map because it's only Mikma standing alone to defend. He has got hat tricks now.
And you have to be
Probably
so
going to
aware,
use his
'cause
tier 2.
this is the play for BTXL. They can't really win a 5v5, like a clean one. So they have to pick off isolated members. Group Singularity are so strong, but if they catch you coming off the reset from Baron, confident, you know, you're walking through your jungle, we're ahead. Why would there be someone there? These are the windows that BTXL are capitalizing on, and it is definitely slowing the pace of the game down. Singularity are trying to fish for a pick here.
Yeah, Hatrick's going to get the kick off, but he's instantly caught out. A lot of CC. Nowhere to go. Great hook by Prosper onto Rome. He needs to grab some more to attack, but don't continue for more.
Yeah, make treads from Rome. Can I get a shut down that? The hook really doesn't last that long, and I think Singularity makes the right call to back away. Wazor's now back on the map. The Lee Sin, one of the more fed members in BTXL, is down, so they feel pretty confident to push up in this situation. And there's so much shielding on the side of Singularity. No one on BTXL can really itemize into a Serpent's Fang. Maybe Mikma, but it's really fringe. And as a result, you're getting so much value here.
And that's going to be the tower. There's going to be no contest here from the side of XL. And this Baron push is going to result in the end of their top lane inhibitor. That will finally fall. No Baron in the mid wave because Wazor obviously had his stripped when he died. So it's just going to be the one. The resets are going to come in, and that should be the Infinity Edge now finished up onto Dragdar. And that scary spike just got scarier because a Hextech Putrefier, or Chemtank Putrefier, sorry, has been picked up for Fury. So now
You're
adding Reavers
learning,
to the
Jake.
teams.
You know it's the Putrefier, not the Purifier.
I know.
love to see
I
it.
learned after last week or the week before or whenever we had
Yeah.
that discussion.
I mean, it's just more shielding for the Karma, 3 items, really comfortable spot. As you said, the Aphelios so strong right now. And normally, sometimes when I look at champions like Aphelios, I'm like, okay, 3 items is great, but do you need defensive items to really carry? Do you need like a GA before you can really stand up? The thing with having so much support on your team, that no, Dragdor does not need anything extra outside of this. You have shielding, you have a Lantern, you have the Lamb's Respite. Dragdor is fully at carry mode at this point of the game and will shred anyone that comes near him.
He's terrifying. He is genuinely terrifying. Now, the one saving grace XL have for themselves right now is the fact that they did pick up that last dragon. So this next dragon spawning up in a minute isn't going to be soul for the scary free item of Aphelios. But Mikma, an entire item down over his counterpart. Actually, I'd like to just have a quick toggle of the gold just to see how big of a difference it is. It's enormous. Oh my god, that's a 4,000 gold lead.
And again, like, this is compounded by the fact that you have to think about how valuable is that much gold when you have all these buffs, all this shielding, you know, you got the Ardent Sensor, you got the all these factors that are making Dragdor even more powerful. It's not just a Fed Aphelios, it's a Fed Aphelios with assistance, with buffs, and he will just shred anyone. And this is a champion that we already saw 1v1 Arome early in the game. BDX have to kill Dragdor, but even if they do, there's still Nulti, so it's not exactly an easy win condition. But if Dragdor lives, I struggle to see how they come out ahead in the fight.
Well, they want to try and find something. Seeing Hatrick lands the kick, he goes for the insect, but the instant flash comes out. Hatrick delivers Fury in. Hatrick's now going to be instantly melted as Dragdar secures the kill. And XL are down on members. The teleport from Wazor to join in the mid lane. Mikma has to somehow hold this wave as Nulti will finish up the dragon for his team. And the mid lane inhibitor tower will be under fire. There's the Infernum being spread out by the Calibrum there.
And you know, that was the correct play from BTXL. Hatrix went for the aggressive engage on a Dragdar, but the peel from the team combined with the fact that Dragdar has flash meant he wasn't able to find the insect onto the Aphelios. But it was the right play. You know, Hatrix had to try and find a window. they weren't able to, and now things are looking more dire. But you look for those opportunities. You have to try and take them when they sort of offer themselves. But for now, the 7,000 goal lead for Singularity. I've already hit on how I prefer their composition in these later team fights. It is really becoming hard to see a win con for BTXL with 3 inhibitors down as well.
It's going to be so hard for them. And they realistically don't have the wave clear. Sure, you have something like a Gore Drinker on your Lee Sin, and, you know, it does make quick work of these waves, and you obviously have the snip from Arome, but, you know, versus someone like Dragdar, if he was in this situation with those 3 items, he cut through waves. In XL, they just don't kill the waves fast enough, and now they got to worry about the Baron spawning up in 20 seconds time, 19 seconds time now.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing as well, you know, don't get me wrong, this is scary at Felios, but there's also Nulty. He's now on 9 stacks on the Kindred. He's got, you know, the Kraken Slayer, the Collector. He's got a stopwatch as well. There's stopwatches on everyone on Singularity, apart from Waves, who has a full Zhonya's. But they know this is likely going to be the final fight of the game. So they've sort of bought that expendable item that just makes it, you know, even harder for BTXL to find a window. They can't contest this Baron. So
how do you kill a team with Zhonya's? 5 Zhonya's.
Yeah, and a Kindred as well. That's 10 stacks, I believe, for the Kindred now.
There's the Moonlight Vigil into the Gravitum, only lands onto one. Arome
look at that
has to push down the path for the moment. They get themselves the hook. Dan is melted. Dan is going down for the 4th time this game. And Denik has to hook towards safety. Hook back in as a kick comes out from Hatrix. They're trying to get a kill onto Wazor. Throws out the ever possible multiple members, and Dragdar will be unleashed as he lobs the Graviton onto Mikma. The depth charge hits is onto Wazor. He's going to eat himself a lot of damage from that needlework as Arome once again puts out the headline miss. And now Hatrix is sliding in, trying to find the additional damage, but he is cut down as XL are being absolutely destroyed in their base. The Baron buff minions should be able to finish this game off as they dive onto the fountain. And Singularity take the win over XL and go 2 points up in the standings.
And this was a pretty convincing win altogether from Singularity. I think what I loved about them was the proactivity early, contesting those camps to set the Kindred up for success, because as soon as that ball started rolling, it felt really like the game was out of control. And then they used that power that they gained in the mid jungle to apply that bot lane and give Dragdar such a massive advantage. And you know, we had a ton of upsets yesterday. I will firmly say I don't think this was an upset. I think Singularity were the team who should have won this. Again, you have a sub 80 carry who isn't even an 80 carry main, and you're also trying to bring 2 new players into the roster. There's still a lot of work to be done for XL before playoffs, but I think we're seeing that Singularity is really coming into full form.
I do want to reiterate that on that as well, because that is the big thing as well. Singularity are technically ahead of XL. Well, they were ahead of XL in the standings, and now they're 2 points ahead of them. So that wasn't like, oh, what an upset. That was just the top team of their group beating on a team below them. Anyway, it's time for us to throw to a break. When we're back, we'll have the analyst test to talk about that game. So we'll see you in a moment.